Sitting in front of the Davis Administration Building on the campus of Friends University is an exhibition of stonework known as Rose Window Plaza. It serves as an icon, a gathering place, and a central location for the students of the university. However intricate its design, it is intended to showcase the beauty of another work of art equal in its fascinating elegance, the rose window itself. When the sun is just right, the light shining through the rose window can throw a colorful shadow, and if there were no walls to obstruct it, this shadow would make its way to the ground, casting a vision much larger than the window whence it came. The plaza's composition was designed to reflect this vision as it appears during the setting of the sun. In a similar fashion, the legacy that Biff and Benny Green leave behind at Friends University can be seen as the sun sets on their period of administration. This legacy of unprecedented growth and renewal can be credited to the hard work of everyone at Friends University. However, it would not be possible without the leadership and direction of Biff and Benny. This legacy, this reflection, is the story we will now tell as we record what we see through the rose window. When Biff and Benny Green arrived at Friends University in 1991, the world was a different place. 1 gallon of gasoline cost $1.14. CNN announced that the internet was being opened for public use. The Dow Jones average topped 3,000 for the first time, and Friends University faced some daunting financial challenges. There was so much work to be done that this energetic new president hardly knew where to begin. But he rolled up his sleeves, outlined a vision, and set about the task of bringing everyone on board to work towards a series of well-defined goals. Under his leadership, the university would be tasked with learning to live within its means, finding its unique niche and filling it, attracting and retaining more students, and clearly defining its mission in order to build community support. Within days of their arrival, Biff and Benny Green enlisted the help of the existing faculty and staff. Together they would transform Friends University, preserving its rich heritage, repairing its aging buildings, and taking it into a brighter future. A new day had begun at Friends University. The first priority centered on making Friends University solid financially. Seeking input from all areas of the campus, Biff implemented a collaborative budgeting process. The faculty and staff focused on the core academic mission and eliminated programs that weren't mission-driven. Some of the choices were painful ones. Determined to succeed, together they developed a balanced budget and made the difficult decisions necessary to stay within that budget. Their hard work paid off. Endowment and investment reserves grew from $3 million in 1990 to more than $50 million. And while the university was growing stronger financially, many other changes were also taking place. Biff began an ambitious plan that would ultimately invest more than $65 million in capital improvements during his tenure as president. Virtually every building underwent renovations, with $10 million going to preserve the integrity of Davis Administration Building. The iconic Clock Tower Administration Building was badly in need of restoration. Refusing to let the beautiful building crumble, Biff led the charge to have the building restored as a historic monument. They carefully hid the new mechanicals behind decorative oak paneling, and the project moved forward. One floor at a time, the construction crews transformed the building into a modern replica of its original grandeur. Twice, hailstorms pelted the roof and it had to be replaced, but Biff and his team persevered. Thanks to their efforts, the Davis Administration Building is positioned to serve students for another 100 years.
I remember when Biff Green started the renovations of the Davis Administration Building. It was a huge undertaking. But Biff and his core visionary leaders overcame the obstacles of budgets and aging infrastructure to totally update this building. It is now the centerpiece of the university and the university campus, and a truly beautiful feature of our downtown corridor.
But the Davis Building was only the beginning. During the mid-1990s, the university was in a constant state of construction and renovations, adding 7 new facilities and major additions. Some of the facilities were paid for by operating reserves or tax-exempt financings, including the Marriage and Family Therapy Center on Family Living, the College of Adult and Professional Studies and Information Technology Building, the Hoyt Athletic Field's new synthetic playing surface, and the Topeka Education Center. Other facilities were funded by generous contributions from good friends, including additions to the Fine Arts and Science buildings funded by Carl and Dixie Sevitz, the Olive White Garvey Business and Technology Building funded by Olive White Garvey, and Smith Apartments funded by J.R. and Gertrude Smith. The University Board of Directors designated another very special building, the Biff and Benny Green Residence Hall, to honor the Greens and their many contributions. This facility won the Keeper of the Plains Award from the Wichita Metro Area Chamber of Commerce. Biff and Benny had come to Wichita, Kansas from sunny California. They were accustomed to lush greenery and flowering plants, so it wasn't surprising that they recognized a need to bring a fresh, new look to the campus. Biff often emphasizes how important a first impression can be for visitors to the university. In 1991, visitors could drive all the way up to Davis, but they encountered a series of prohibitive signs all along the way.
As guests and students drove up to the front of Davis, they noticed quite a few no parking signs. I believe there were 10 or 12 of them actually when they were there. So when Biff and Benny were walking around, they noticed that, and they also felt that we needed to do something about that. Make the campus more welcoming, make it nicer looking.
Biff created a landscaping committee and the work began. Benny was actively involved in this endeavor, meeting weekly with the committee members to help make plans for the beautification of the campus. Literally thousands of shrubs and flowers have been planted, many by Biff and Benny themselves. The unwelcoming drive was replaced by a grand Centennial Lane and Rose Window Plaza, both carefully planned to enhance the vibrant colors of the campus and to celebrate the heritage of the university. The Rose Window Plaza is designed as an exterior version of the beautiful stained glass window visitors can see inside the Davis Building's auditorium. There were other major improvements as well. Benny created a beautiful flower garden at the president's home across the street from campus, and the students gave input for a seating area and water feature behind Green Hall, where they can relax and enjoy time with their friends. Although the goal of all this greening of the university was to make people feel welcome, the results far exceeded everyone's expectations. The beauty of the campus, combined with the commitment to a mission of excellence in academics, attracted more and more people to Friends University. When students came, they stepped into a beautiful park-like environment. They strolled under a canopy of trees and drank in the colors and fragrances of Friends University. And they met a friendly, outgoing president who served them ice cream in the garden of his home. They stayed, and they brought their friends. Enrollment increased. In fact, Friends University saw double-digit enrollment increases through the mid-90s and reached an all-time high in the early 2000s. Retention rates went up as well. Community leaders and visiting alumni were equally impressed with all of the improvements they saw happening at the beautiful campus in the heart of Wichita. They returned to the university for concerts and special events, and they gave generously of their time and money, eager to be a part of the Friends University story. Programs for adult students were growing also. The academic programs had been reorganized into 3 colleges. The College for Business, Arts, Sciences, and Education focused on undergraduate students who would have the opportunity to live on campus and grow as individuals, nurtured by a caring faculty and staff. The College of Adult and Professional Studies was dedicated to programs specifically for adult students who wanted to return to college and complete their degree. The demand for these programs was growing, so the university expanded the number of programs and the locations where they were offered. During these years, a new program was added for adults to complete their first 2 years of college through night and weekend classes. Partnerships were developed with community colleges, and off-site programs were initiated in Topeka, Lenexa, and rural Kansas. And the graduate school expanded as well. The growth prompted an increase in degree programs, an increase in graduate enrollment, and an increase in the hiring of doctoral-level faculty. Through all this growth, Friends University never lost sight of its goal to provide prompt, personal attention to each individual student.
We worked hard to do the right things based upon our student-focused education mission. We successfully implemented continuous quality improvement processes and strengthened the measurement of those outcomes. We expanded programs to better prepare our students for meaningful and successful careers. And we recently added online programs to make a college degree from Friends University even more accessible.
Donors and community leaders were attracted to the Friends University success story in ever-increasing numbers, too. Part of Biff Green's philosophy was to focus on friend-raising instead of fundraising. The goal was to clearly define the university's mission and then seek community support. A major part of the mission involved giving back to the community.
Biff and Benny Green's focus on quality education and their efforts to connect Friends University to the community has extended throughout the years, both personally through their personal participation in community projects, but also really through encouraging others to contribute and to make a difference. Each December, the university closes down for a day, for the past 20 years in fact, to help the local Salvation Army with their annual Salvation Army distribution. And it's really fun and amazing to see the students, faculty, and staff show up ready to assemble bicycles, put together gifts, sort gifts, just do whatever really is needed. In contrast, following the 2007 Greensburg tornado, the Biff and Benny worked alongside many of the students here at Friends University to help that community in cleaning up following that devastation. It's just great to know that both through their, really their personal dedication, but also through their actions as well as their leadership, they have exemplified Friends University's mission for service to others. We wish them the very best in their retirement.
When future generations look back on Biff Green's tenure at Friends University, they will be impressed by many accomplishments. Certainly the building programs will be recognized as a highlight. The growth in community support and student enrollment will also be noted. But one of the most significant changes at Friends University during these years is somewhat less tangible. It is the infusion of spirit that began as a tiny spark of hope with Biff Green's arrival. Biff and Benny Green worked to find the spark within every employee, every student, every alumni, every board member. They nurtured the small flame of Friends University's spirit and turned it into a burning desire for excellence throughout the university. With a warm and welcoming smile, Biff Green invited everyone he met to become a part of the Friends University family, and they responded. This part of the Friends University transformation came about first and foremost because Biff Green believed it could be done. He believed in the abilities of each person to contribute to the dream, and in return, they lived up to his expectations.
Before Biff arrived, institutional self-esteem was at a very, very low point, and I'm not sure we even believed in ourselves. We'd kind of lost our way. What he brought to the table was a collaborative, inclusive approach to everything we did. He brought the issue before the whole university. What were we dealing with? What were our opportunities? Biff arrived, and he helped us believe in ourselves.
When Biff Green arrived, he found a dedicated, talented core of individuals ready and waiting to follow his lead. He was quick to recognize their strengths and reward their efforts. He worked hard to build salary enhancements, bonus programs, and retirement contributions during his tenure. And while the faculty and staff appreciated the increases, they were even more enthusiastic about Biff's implementation of innovative employee benefits to build a sense of teamwork and university morale. Soon the university was celebrating Friends Fridays, wearing Friends University shirts and colors with pride. They enjoyed Friday afternoons off during the summer and willingly put in the extra hours needed during the busy seasons of enrollment and commencement. Biff gave the staff a break between Christmas and New Year's, expanded tuition remission programs for employees and their families, and established an events committee to sponsor faculty and staff activities throughout the year. His already loyal staff became even more devoted to the Friends University mission. They became walking, talking advocates for a Friends University education, telling the Friends University story wherever they went. Through it all, Biff and Benny Green moved about the campus, spreading smiles and laughter. If there was any stress or strain involved in this major rebuilding of a great university, they never let it show. In fact, they appeared to be simply taking it all in, enjoying student life, and hosting group after group of university students, faculty, alumni, and friends. If there was something fun going on, Biff and Benny were nearly always a part of the celebration. When the Falcons were playing football, Biff and Benny were there, cheering them on to several NAIA playoff games, happy to be a part of the only college football program in Wichita. Biff has always taken a personal interest in every student's success, so when he made the announcement that Friends University led the Kansas Collegiate Athletic Conference with the highest number of student athletes named as academic All-Americans, well, let's just say he was very happy. Walk through the Casado Student Center and you're likely to find Biff Green playing ping pong with the students. Stop by on Cherry Carnival Day and you'll see Biff and Benny enjoying the pie eating contest and sumo wrestling events. And in a university filled with fine arts performances, Biff and Benny Green became avid supporters, attending concerts, the ballet, jazz fests, theater offerings, and all kinds of special events. Over the years, there have been many pivotal moments for Friends University. During Biff Green's tenure, several will stand out in our memories. Yes, there is much to remember and to celebrate, but perhaps the most significant memory of all will be found in one simple thing: the joy of a college president and his wife embracing their university family, wrapping all of us in the warmth of their confidence, leading the way, and inviting us to follow them for the journey of a lifetime.